Okay, so thank you so much for understanding, and let's get into it. The underlying energy is the Four of Pentacles, and underneath that is the King of Swords. Y'all, you guys were choking, trying to kill people last week or something. What's happening? You holding, but there's somebody that you're holding back from, or something. Somebody's holding back, or somebody's holding something. This is like not breaking out of your comfort zone. This is like the staunch hold on the things that you like feel stable in, and it's because you feel vulnerable. The King of Swords relies on his truth, his beliefs, his ways of thinking, his logic, because his emotions are so sensitive. And in a way, he's very vulnerable in this part of that too, and that's the emotion aspect. He can just turn it off and switch on his logical mind. And I feel like that's maybe what happened here. You guys really went logical with the situation, and you're not really ready to break free. But this is a really cool place to be if you don't want to go nowhere, if you don't want to make any progress, if you don't want to move. But if until then, right, until you decide to go ahead and aspire to those dreams, you're in a stagnant situation because you're holding on to a comfort zone. Now, again, you could be kept out in the dark from somebody around you, right? Somebody could be not saying some things or keeping some things closed. Maybe the King of Swords is somebody that's Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or someone that that's very intellectual, very good at conversation, very good at talking, and they're not talking now. This is not going to last. As you see, the Four of Pentacles is not the end game, but this is somebody that's definitely holding back, keeping things close to them, not looking to branch out or open up. But that, again, is temporary. Now, the heart of your reading is the Eight of Swords. This is feeling trapped in your thoughts, not really seeing an option out, and not really feeling comfortable taking steps back. This is really feeling like you're in a very stuck and stagnant area, and you kind of are when this card comes up. Why am I saying this? Well, because think about it. If you don't feel like you can really take a step back, if you can't feel like you can move forward, you don't necessarily know what's ahead of you. Nothing's really blocking you, but nothing's ahead of you. You don't see it. It can be very hard to make options or make decisions to move forward. So why not just stay in a place where you know you're safe? You're not moving. There's nothing that's going to hurt you. But that's the thing. You are hurting yourself. You're not growing. You're not moving. You're not perspiring. You're not aspiring, not perspiring. Maybe some of you guys aren't, haven't been exercising, which I don't think that's the case. You guys are very good at, maintaining your health. As a matter of fact, that's why you rule the 7th house in the first place. All about the health stuff. But the situation at the end of the day, it's like, if there's no movement, it's no movement at all, and it makes you feel stuck and trapped, and honestly, like you're going nowhere, and then it sucks. Like the fears are constantly around you, or whatever the thoughts that's keeping you bound is constantly around you. And the thing here is, right, you have clarity. You have exposure. This card is the only card that you can never reverse in a bad way. The only thing is that it shows you everything, even the ugly, nasty parts that's been hiding in the dark for so long in the moon. They're in the moon phase. They're in the moon because the moon was 19 or 18, and this is 19. So, yeah, before in the moon when things were dark and everything and ugly, perhaps this is the exposure of the ugly stuff. The Eight of Swords is like, at that point, is a decision or a choice in the matter of not seeing it. The Four of Pentacles is suggesting it's on purpose that you're not opening up, or there's something that's not being opened up, and it's because perhaps you're seeing something, or the truth around you, the situation is being exposed. Nothing really is afraid. Nothing's really fearful. It's just the self that's keeping you from being able to progress forward. And we know why. And it's not a fault. It's not a blame. Nobody's judging you at all. Everybody has their reasons for feeling trapped. And for a second there, for a lot of times, Libras, including, especially me, I've been in a very Four of Pentacles hermit mode sort of situation because I was not interested in receiving any more quote unquote failure, or just kind of, I've been perpetuating a lie, like I have been, which I'm in the process of breaking, where I'm thinking that everything I get into is just for it to fail, so I can, improve, and the way you do it, the way it happens, it hurts. But it's not to say that everything happens in failure. Everything that happens is meant to fail, it's not a failure. Nothing happens as a failure. And it doesn't feel good, maybe. And that's the thing. We're holding on to the feeling of that thing not working out, but not with the benefits of it, of what we've learned from that experience to help our chances in the future greater and better than ever. And that's the thing. The Eight of Swords is signifying that there's a feeling of trappedness, feeling trapped in your thoughts. And the Four of Pentacles is that it's because of this feeling of not being able to do what we want to do without taking a risk. And there's always risks. Everything that we do in life is a risk. And the thing is that the Eight of Swords person has to take that risk to move forward and figure out there's a sword in front of them and move on. You know, leave behind the perspective, leave behind the swords, obviously, that you know that's behind you. You know stuff already there. That's already there. You felt it, but what's in front? You don't know. But you do know. The sun is exposing this. Now, in the past, or in the foundation, you have the Five of Cups. So there was a loss here. You felt great loss. Which is completely understandable why you feel like you can't move forward. Because what is forward to you? What forward to you right now is the stuff that's lost. Right? What's forward to you is, you know, the skepticism and uncertainty and kind of like a risk, for crying out loud. It's a risk. It's a risky thing. But what you're coming from is loss. What you're coming from is this feeling of something that's just like you lost something precious to your heart. It's hard to move forward. It's hard to break free from that. And completely understandable too. But you have a new beginning in front of you. Maybe nothing huge, but it's something that will require work and effort from you. And it's honestly something that is very valuable. It's nothing to really truly be afraid of, because it's not necessarily it's not the Page of Wands, which is where there's more of a high risk value. The Page of Pentacles is more secure, I would say. This kid is the most responsible kid ever. So there's a messenger that's delivering a very carefully delivered message, a carefully written out message. You damn sure that this is a pretty serious offer, or at least pretty serious in that sense. Maybe nothing extremely serious, of course, right? Because this is still a page energy that we're talking about, not an ace. But either way, there's a lot of looking closely at the details, making sure that this is legitimate, instead of taking the risk and just trying it. But I feel like as well, like you're maybe considering and consulting whether what you do and what you don't have value in. You're really reassessing your values at this moment, because where you had your values is keeping you at ground zero and at step 4. You know, in the Pentacles suit. Yeah, moving forward. But I feel like right now you're kind of thinking about it. They're thinking about moving forward. I feel like you want to, but it's scary. The sun is actually scary. Usually the sun shows the great potential of happiness, and I think you see that there too, but you want to be absolutely 100% sure. That's why there hasn't been 100%, there hasn't been an acceptance of that yet. Some of you guys may have been actually doing the work and putting in time, but it's been boring. It has been it hasn't been really feeling that great, but you're going towards something. But I don't think it's the case, because the Eight of Swords is there. You don't see where the potential lies. You don't see it right now, because you're looking at the small stuff. You're looking at everything that could happen. You're looking at the possibilities. What about where it can lead? The potential. The potential is still, in a way, it's the potential is of a value in a way. Can it be? Because in the future, you have the Star. The Star talks about the wish. It talks about hope and faith. And it talks about healing. Everything that this is needed here right now. The healing energy here. You've gone through a great loss, Virgo. But that doesn't mean that you'll always receive loss. The Five of Cups is showing this. The Two of Cups may not be exactly everything and all of what you want. But it's not the end of it. It's not all you'll ever have is loss. And I feel like you're trying to discover with hope, discover hope again. You have the path now. It's getting out of your head and just going ahead and doing something and committing to it and going for it without worrying about where the risk is or about whether or not it's worth the risk or not. Because this is the Seven of Pentacles, your goal, aim, ambition, your advice, energy. All this is saying that there's a lot of emphasis on the what ifs. And if it's something that you're willing to put in the effort and time into. If it's enough of a risk to chance all that energy into. You have to decide whether or not this offer is worth your time or not. And I can't tell you. But what I can say is that if it's the fear that you're using as reason to not pursue something, then you have to understand and figure out why the fear is taking control of your life. The sun is there to shine brightly, to show that there's potential for great happiness. And instead of using that light to show what great happiness could be, you're showing you're using that light as a spotlight to emphasize or highlight what could happen that hurt very badly. And it doesn't have to happen that way. It doesn't have to happen that way. And in a way, I feel like you guys are that way as well. I feel like your mind wants to go there, your body wants to go there, but in your heart, you know that there has to be something better. I think that's why it's like you feel trapped in your thoughts, because perhaps you do want to move forward. You know that there's no way to know exactly what can happen. And you want to have faith, but it's the things that happened in the past that makes it hard. Not impossible, but hard. And the reason why I really say this is because of the Five of Wands and the external energy. You got external conflict here. You may be arguing with somebody around you about this. Or there could be internal turmoil. But I really feel like it's kind of internal, because the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords in the heart of this reading. There could be competition. It can make it very hard. Alright? But all in all, the conflict is there. But I feel like you want to pursue. I feel like you want to pursue something new. Maybe nothing huge, but something small and something that's gradual, something that's gentle. Either way, I do feel like this urge from you guys that you're like, I want to see what can potentially go out there, what's out there. I want to see what's outside of this comfort zone. But at the same time, you may get situations like a Five of Wands that really makes you think, oh, is it fucking worth it? I don't know if I want to take that risk. Don't let the fear keep you down. Don't let that fear keep you. Because honestly, with your outcome as the Ace of Wands, this is a new beginning, a new passionate beginning, one that's exciting, one that's full of fresh ideas and passion. Fresh energy. And it's whatever you make it to be. It's whatever you want this passion to be. And it's totally up to you where you want to go. But it starts from recognizing where you are. And where you are right now is not in a place where it's inspiring growth. You're letting the fear defeat you. Don't let that happen, y'all. Don't let it. Alright, let's go ahead and see what's going on with your romance angels for this week. What's happening in your romance angels? What's going on with your romance angels this week? What's happening? What's going on? What's good? What's popping? What's crazy? What's great? What's happening? Tell us everything. What additional information do we need to know? Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. I think Cancer got that as well. Doesn't mean I can't, though. It can be very hard to see something that may be gone, their passion, the requited love there. But it doesn't mean that it can't be cultivated. It may just require you to go outside of your comfort zone a little bit, where you kind of are used to something coming to you. Well, you may have to make it happen. Obviously, there's passion somewhere, but there's just not in the passion in which it could be utilized for the benefits of both of you. Again, that doesn't mean that there isn't a way to do it. It's going to definitely require you to see that. Get out of your head for a second. Change in the wind, and you got several of the cards here. But I only seen change of the wind. Okay. Happies as well too. Let's talk about finding the happiness or finding the bliss or the good parts within the situation that you got going on. Not necessarily focusing on the bad, because focusing on the bad all the time, if you're not looking for a solution and just kind of letting it marinate and get worse, that's not going to help anything. That's not going to help you. It's not going to help anything. If you look at the negative and try to find a solution toward it, that's cool. But if you're not finding a solution and it's just kind of festering and getting worse, and it's actually killing hope and killing your this feeling of potentially getting whatever it is that you want, then yeah, right now it's about focusing on what can be done, what the good parts, the things that have been benefiting you so far. But a change in wind is coming up as saying that there's a adjustment period. A period where there's not necessarily a solid feeling, a stable direction in which one is going. But they know that, there's no stability in this moment, rather. You are going towards a place where there's more solid, more easy to kind of figure out things. But when there's a change in the wind coming up here as you're reading, it's talking about don't make any plans at the moment. Just be in the moment, go with the flow. Don't focus so much on the external right now, because don't focus on making plans. Don't think about being too solid at this moment, because being too solid, you are just putting yourself up on purpose to kind of have those plans fail. Everything right now is an adjustment period, so it's time to adjust with everything. Not necessarily plan for something, but in the future you can have dreams, you can have aspirations, you can even have that now, but don't act on them at this moment. Just kind of go with the flow, kind of see where things go. Be very observant, be mindful of yourself, be considerate of yourself and love on yourself, but also go with the flow. You know what I mean? Just go with the flow. Because maybe some things are not exactly that great right now, but the passion and the outcome, it could potentially happen. It just starts from seeing the situation for how it really is and not how your mind is making it out to be.